Namaste. A very warm welcome to everyone to the Vedic Astrology Masterclass series. I'm Ms. Jyoti. I'll be your host for this session. Today's masterclass will be given by Sri Sanjay Rath ji. He will be teaching about Dagdha Rashi. Before we continue, I would like to take a minute to share a few hygiene points. The class will be for about 50 minutes, post which the Q&A session will start. Any questions that you would like to ask can be typed in the comment section. The technical team will relay the questions for the speaker to answer them. Before I hand it over to Sri Sanjay Rath ji, I would like to take a minute to give you a brief introduction of our foundation. The Raman and Rajeswari Research Foundation was founded by Dr. B.V. Raman and his son Sri NIRANJAN BABU in 1983. The foundation is non-profit, endeavoring to revive, rejuvenate, and promote the study of Vedic astrology, Vastu, Yoga, Ayurveda, Vedanta, and other related Indian sciences. Under the leadership of its current chairman, Sri NIRANJAN BABU, the foundation has emerged as a pioneer in the advancement and digitization of Vedic astrology. It has developed and distributed free astrological software, digitized astrological content, and undertaken path-breaking research in Vedic astrology, including use of artificial intelligence, big data, spatial analysis, etc., and making it accessible to the astrological world. The foundation has also funded and supported various Vedic activities like building temples, sponsoring Vedic marriages, etc. The foundation has established a fund to honor pioneers in the field of Vedic astrology. The eminent list of scholars who have received recognition by the foundation include Dr. David Frawley, Dr. T.S. Vasan, Dr. Bill Levesey, Dr. Aralumallige Parthasarathi, Swami Sitaramananda, Swami Sukabodhananda, and Sri D.N. Monikrishna, to name a few. Till date, the foundation has organized over 100 events, including conferences, lectures, seminars, and workshops, and has received tremendous support from the press and public alike. If you would like to stay informed about the activities of the foundation, we encourage you to visit our website www.rrrf.in or join our Telegram channel. Now, I take the pleasure of introducing today's teacher, Sri Sanjay Rath ji. Jyotish Guru Pandit Sanjay Rath belongs to a traditional family of astrologers from Birabalabadrapur Sasan village of Puri, Orissa, which trace their lineage back to Sri Achyutadas, Sri Achyutananda. His grandfather, the late Pandit Jagannath Rath, was the Jyotish Ratna of Orissa and authored many books on Jyotish. Pandit Rath is the teacher of Brihat Parashara Hora Shastra, Jaimini Upadesha Sutras, and the Shiva Mahapurana, and has many students around the world. He has been teaching in the Faculty Development Program of the Government of India, which aims to educate professors and lecturers across universities in India about traditional knowledge. Author of several renowned Jyotisha books such as Crux of Vedic Astrology, Vedic Remedies in Astrology, Jaimini Maharishi's Upadesha Sutras, Vimshottari and Ududashas, Narayana Dasha, Brihat Nakshatra, etc. Pandit Rath teaches, lectures, and consults extensively, and he has students and clients all over the world. Before we begin the session, kindly note again that any question that you might have for our teacher today can be typed and posted in the comment section. At the end of the session, the speaker will answer them one by one. We now begin the masterclass on Dagdarashi. Dear Sri Sanjay Rath ji, over to you.
That was a very detailed and nice introduction. And there was a long list of books and publications and all that. But let me take this opportunity to tell the viewers that the person who encouraged me to start writing was Dr. B.V. Raman. I used to write small letters to the editor when Dr. Raman was the editor. I was very young at that point of time. And Dr. Raman always encouraged me. He even published my first article when I was in the government. A person who wishes to learn a Vedic subject must always start with a prayer to a guru. So today I would like to start with a prayer to Dr. Bengaluru Venkataramana. Please follow me. Om Jyotish Tattvaya Bengaluru Venkataramanaya Gurubhyo Namah. It's a very simple mantra. You can do this mantra and connect with the soul of Dr. Raman, and he will guide you because he is a great soul. With that, let me start the topic for the day today. It is Dagdha Rashi. The word Dagdha, what does the word Dagdha really mean? It means combustion. Something which is burnt, burning, it's hurting, it's paining. So we'll go into the definitions of this word Dagdha. And we need to understand today the difference between the two words Dagdha and Astangata. I have observed that astrologers are using these two words as one. They say Astangata means combustion. When a planet is within a certain degree of the sun, we say it is Astangata. Oh, the planet is combust. Let us say Mercury is within 5 degrees of the sun, you will say, oh, Mercury is combust. It is not combust. It is Astangata. And it is not Dagdha. You see, this mistake has been made by astrologers for a long time now. And I thought it is time to settle this problem. Dagdha is different from Astangata. Now, today's topic being Dagdha, I will stick to Dagdha. There are 3 types of combustions that take place in charts. One is a Rashi Dagdha, where the Rashis are burnt, where the Rashis are on fire. There is a combustion happening. There is an ignition happening in the Rashis. That is today's topic. Then there is a Nakshatra Dagdha, Dagdha Nakshatras. It is a combination of Vara and the Nakshatra. This is not for today, unless we have the time. Then there is another thing which is even more advanced. It's called Dagdha Tithi. And there are 3 types of Dagdha Tithis. One is Dagdha itself. One is Visha Dagdha. What is Visha Dagdha? Poison that can burn you. Poisons that can burn your body. Poison that actually destroys systems inside. Did you know that diabetes is a poison? Diabetes is an example of Visha Dagdha. What does diabetes do if it is left unchecked? It burns your organs. It dissolves your organs of your body. Your kidneys fail. You see, that is called Visha Dagdha. And then we have something called Hutasana. So there are so many new words I have just introduced to you. Dagdha, Visha Dagdha, Hutasana, Nakshatra Dagdha, and Dagdha Rashi. So let us enter the topic. What are Dagdha and Astangata? I have got 2 columns for you. Dagdha is defined in Sanskrit as something that's burnt, that's consumed by fire, something which is tormenting you. It's pain, it's consumed by grief. There is a lot of torment and distress out there to the extent you could lose your mind. You are famished, you are dry, you are thirsty all the time, and you need water. It is very inauspicious, as in Dagdha Yoga. Very, very inauspicious yogas. Wretched, accursed. It is extremely vile. It could be cunning. With Dagdha, Vidagdha is very cunning. But that is not really what is meant by a Dagdha Rashi. The quarter where the sun remains overhead, the Abhijit Muhurta, Did you know that the Abhijit Muhurta is also Dagdha? For example, when is the Abhijit Muhurta? It's exactly at noon, exactly 12 o'clock. Remember while growing up, we had that jokes about Sardarji's Bara Baj Gaya, Bara Baj Gaya. Means it's exact 12 o'clock and the Sardarji's head goes for a 6. It's a reminder to us, basically, that it is not just the Sardarji. Everybody's head goes for a 6 because that is Dagdha Muhurta. And at that moment, you are supposed to be remembering Narayan. So that is Dagdha. And everything that we have discussed here about Dagdha is about something that's burning you, some things that's destroying you. Okay? Now come to Astangata. This is composed of two words actually, Asta and Anga. Asta means setting, Anga is body. So it's like the sunset. Astangata has to do like the sun. The sun has set, the sun has gone below the horizon. Astangata, the anga, the body of the sun, which was visible, is now gone below the horizon. The sun has gone into hiding. The sun is no longer visible. The sun has vanished. Do you see the point? The visibility has been destroyed. That is the meaning of Astangata. It is not burnt, it is just hidden, like me hiding the face, This is Astangata, hiding the face. Hiding is Astangata. And it is not combustion, it's just gone to sleep or is hidden behind somebody else. Any planet that is closely conjunct the moon, any planet that is closely conjunct the moon goes behind the moon. It becomes invisible. We say that Krishna has hidden that planet from us. In Mantra Shastra, we call it Lopa. It has gone into hiding. It has vanished. How is it combust? It is not burnt. It is simply gone behind. Like the sun has set. It has vanished from the vision. That is why they say seventh house is where things vanish from your vision. They set over there. So what is Astangata? Astangata means the planet is not visible in your horoscope. If your seventh lord is Astangata, maybe your wife will vanish from your sight. Doesn't mean she'll get burnt. It doesn't mean she will get burned. It doesn't mean she will be tormented. She's just gone away somewhere. She has vanished from your sight. Maybe she's taken up a job abroad and has gone away. Do you see the difference? One is clearly evil. Dagdha is clearly evil. So in Jyotish, we have to clearly differentiate between Dagdha and Astangata. Astangata is not as evil. It can be evil. Like if somebody dies, you may be in grief for some time. But if someone you love runs away, ooh, that's painful. Okay? So you got to understand emotions are one thing, but Dagdha is absolutely painful. Combust can be used, the English word combust can be used for Dagdha. So in future, I would request all Jyotishi to use the word combust for only Dagdha matters. Astangata Graha is not combust. It has just set like the sun in the evening. It has vanished. It is the Lopa Bija in Mantra Shastra. So we should be using a word like vanished. When we use the word Astangata, we just use vanish. So you understand better. If you use better words, you understand better. So, from the Tattva perspective, Dagdha is like a strong Mars effect of Agni. Whenever you want to understand Dagdha, think that Mangal in his full power has come to bear on this matter. It is like Hanuman going to Lanka and dancing the Tandav. You see, Hanuman was an avatar of Shiva and he danced the Tandava. Who else can dance Tandava? Only Shiva can dance the Tandava, really. And this Hanuman, he danced Tandava in Lanka. So that was Lanka Dagdha. So Lanka Dagdha was done by Hanuman. Agni, absolute destruction. That is Dagdha. Whereas Astangata is like a strong Saturn effect of Vayu. It is blowing it away. Somebody is being taken away from you. Something is being moved away from you. That's Astangata. So Astangata is more Saturnine effect, strong Saturnine effect, setting, even the sun sets. So that's a Saturnine effect. It's not dying really. It's not being destroyed. It's not burning. Okay? We are clear about Dagdha and Astangata now. Dagdha is combust. Astangata is vanished. Okay? Now, what is Dagdha Rashi? Rashi are created by the sun. Nakshatra are created by the moon. That is something we know. Sun is the source of Agni. Now look at it. Sun is the source of Agni. Moon is the source of Jala. We know that all water that we have, our rivers, our wells, all that water is coming from the oceans. And oceans, the ocean water, the salt water, that is moon. Moon is not sweet water. Moon is not drinking water. You can't drink the moon. If you drink the moon, you'll probably choke to death. You drink Venus. Venus is the pure water that you drink. Okay. So sun is the source of Agni. Coming together of Agni and Jala creates a Gandanta. You all know about Gandantas, right? Look at Pisces, water sign, Aries, fire sign. They meet. Where do they meet? 0 degrees of Aries. That is Gandanta. Why is that Gandanta? Because the fire and the water have come together. What happens when the fire and water come together? Either the fire is destroyed or the water is destroyed. Both cannot stay. Okay? It is a very dangerous junction. The water which is close to the Gandanta is boiling. So let us say 28 degrees of Pisces, 29 degrees of Pisces. At 28 degrees, the water is already boiling and bubbling, bud, 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 bud. And at 29 degrees, it has started evaporating. At 30 degrees, it has gone to the sky, become clouds. You see the point? That's how it happens. That's how the Gandanta is happening. So when we are thinking about a relationship between the sun and the moon, we Hindus, we consider Tithi as the relationship between the sun fire and the moon water. Tithi is the relationship between the fire of the sun and the water of the moon. So every Tithi must have some amount of heat in it. The heat is being deflected out. Look at it like this. Let us say the sun is here. Okay? And let us say the moon is at some degrees. Let us say 150 degrees. So the sunlight will come like this. It will hit the moon and gets deflected. The sunlight is going away somewhere else. But at 2 tithis in Purnima, what is Purnima? Sun opposite So what happens when the sun is opposite the moon? the sunlight goes to the moon and the moon reflects it back to the sun. You see that? How interesting. Sunlight is going to the moon and the moon is sending the sunlight back to the sun. How interesting, huh? Now think about Amavasya. In Amavasya, the sun and the moon are together. So the sun is not giving any light to the moon. Something is happening right out there. So all the sunlight goes back to the sun. In Purnima and on Amavasya, the sunlight is going back to the sun. Very interesting phenomena. You never thought of Tithi like that. So Purnima and Amavasya are special Tithis. They are special because the sunlight is being reflected back to the sun. Going back to the sun. What do you mean by going back to the sun? Going back to God. You ever thought about it like that? So the Purnima has the capacity. The moon is reflecting the light back to the sun. So if you, what are you? What are you? What are me? We are nothing but a ray of light. My soul is a ray of light. Your soul is a ray of light. So this light has come from where? All light has come from the sun. You have come from the sun. I have come from the sun. And this ray of light can be reflected by the moon and goes back to the sun. This back to the sun, Prabhupada. Have you heard of Prabhupada? Srila Prabhupada made a very beautiful statement. Back to Godhead. What is Godhead? The sun is the Godhead, head of God. We don't know anything else. What we see is the sun, and the sun is the head of God. Because God is nature. What we see in nature is the sun is the head. How interesting, huh? So it is in Purnima and in Amavasya, there is no Dagdha Tithi. Why is there no Dagdha Rashi? Why is there no Dagdha Rashi? Because the sunlight is not going anywhere else. On Purnima, it goes back to the sun. On Amavasya, it is in the sun. So what do you mean by going back to the sun? Back to the sun is Purnima, right? Purnima is going back to the sun. Amavasya is in the sun. So remember this. This going back to the sun is a Vaishnava concept. Going back to the sun, going back to Godhead is a Vaishnava concept. Being in the sun, being one with the sun is a Shaiva concept. So you see, that is why Purnima, if there is an eclipse on Purnima, what eclipse is that? It is a lunar eclipse. And who is worshipped in a lunar eclipse? Harir Nama, Harir Nama, Harir Nama Kevalam. So on a Purnima, we Hindus take the name of Hari. We worship Vishnu. We say Hare Krishna. You see the point? Whereas on Amavasya, it is the perfect day to go back to Shiva. And who is taking us there? Kali. Who else? The Pitris, our forefathers. Our father, our grandfather, all of them will take us there. That is the path of Shiva, the path of the Rudras. Rud is also blood. That is why Rudra, Rudhira is blood. And that is why this Amavasya is associated with the Pitris. This Amavasya is associated with Kali. It is associated with the Rudras. I want you to understand that this whole Vedic Dharma is not guesswork. There is no guesswork. There is a beautiful logic to it. Every tiny aspect has a fantastic logic like this. So today you learned that, wow, Purnima is back to Godhead and Amavasya is being one with God. To become one with Him, the whole concept about Kaivalyam. Kaivalyam is to become one with Shiva. Okay, all the other tithis are having Dagdha Rashis. So that is what we are going to see. Why? Because this fire that is coming from the sun, you see, the light that is coming from the sun is having light and fire, Agni, heat. This is being deflected to other places, and that is causing some problems. Our rishis made a nice table for us. You see this table in front of you? They said that on certain tithis, the fire is going to certain rashis. I am not going into this derivation right now. I don't have the time to derive this table for you, but I can do it. On Pratipada, it is in Tula and Makara. Two rashis are getting burnt. On Dvitiya, Dhanu Rashi, Meena Rashi. See, these are Jupiter Rashis. On Tritiya, Singha Rashi, Makara Rashi. On Chaturthi, Vrishabha Rashi, Kumbha Rashi. On Panchami, Mithuna Rashi, Kanya Rashi. On Sashti, Mesha Rashi, Simha Rashi. Like that, we have a list of all tithis. But you see Purnima? None. Why? Vishnu protects it. Vishnu is the protector of Purnima. And Amavasya, Rudra protects. More, we can say Bhairava also protects. That's another form of Rudra. This is an advanced system used to examining bhava in the charts. In your horoscopes, you can see the bhava. When birth in certain tithi causes a person to have a burning experience with the specific Rashi. Aha! Very interesting. So if you are born in a certain tithi, some Rashis are going to cause you some burning effect. You will burn. Okay. So burning is experienced in the bhava indicated by the tithi Dagdha Rashi. It is called tithi Dagdha Rashi. So that is why it is called Dagdha Rashi. Why it is Dagdha? Because the cooling waters of Ganga do not flow well through them. Now this is something important to understand. Because in remedies you will be using this information. Planets in this Rashi also suffer from hellfires in this signs. Now it is a very interesting concept. Let us say it is Pratipad. Let us say somebody is born on Pratipad. Where is the fire? Fire we have seen in Tula in number 7 and in Makara Rashi, number 10. What happens if a retrograde planet is there in one of these Rashis? Let us say Jupiter is retrograde out here. Technically, if a planet is retrograde, he is giving the results of being in the opposite sign. So Jupiter is effectively over here. This is the result. Phala. So if Jupiter is giving the result of being in Cancer, it is fantastic, no? It is really fantastic. Then we will say that, wow, although Jupiter is retrograde and in the Dagdha Rashi, he has run away from it. Run away. He ran full speed. He ran away. Yah palayati sajivati. He who runs away will live to fight another day. So Brihaspati has run away. Now look at Shani, Shauri. He is the brave one. He is in the opposite Rashi. Shani is sitting in Mesha Rashi, but he is also retrograde. So firstly, Shani is in debility. He has retrograded and is rushing to exaltation. What will happen? Saturn will burn. Saturn is burnt. What happens when Saturn is burnt? Whatever is indicated by Shani in that horoscope is burnt. A Rashi is having fire, but you need to put some fruits, some vegetables, some thing, and then put some oil, and then only you can fry it. How do you fry? A Rashi is like a frying pan. Think, Rashi is a frying pan. Graha is vegetable. What is Saturn? Brinjal. Okay, I'm throwing the brinjal over there and then doing fry, brinjal fry. What is brinjal called in America? Anyway, somebody will inform. Similarly, Jupiter has gone inside the frying pan. Oh, you are frying potatoes. I see. Like that, Think about what has gone there, what is being fried. Something is frying, something is burning. Now, remember, water cools the fire. Water will put a good fight against the fire, provided there is water in the moon. How do we know whether the moon is having water? For that, the moon should have some light. If the moon is having full of light, let us say it is Shukla Paksha Chaturdashi, the moon is full of light. He can extinguish any fire. Any fire he can extinguish. Normally we say from Ashtami, Shukla Ashtami to Krishna Ashtami, moon is having lot of water. So don't worry. Moon is strong from Shukla Ashtami to Krishna Ashtami. Some people will say, what about others? But we will see charts and you can decide. So whenever there is a combustion, moon can protect. Water can protect. Okay? So let us see some charts and learn a few things. This is the chart of Abraham Lincoln. Normally, you will expect me to say some great things about Abraham Lincoln, some fantastic achievements of his, some great sacrifices he has made. No, today I am going to speak of pain. You think Abraham Lincoln did not see pain? He also saw pain. If you are a human being on planet Earth, you will see pain. So let us see where he saw. His Tithi, let us see out here, he is born on, Tithi is Trayodashi. Here you can see the Dagdha Rashis. You see this over here? Dagdha Rashis are Taurus and Leo. So in Taurus, you can see fire is burning. In Leo, fire is burning. Whichever chart you want to follow, you can follow. Now, do you see combustion in the 7th house? His Lagnam is Kumbha Lagna. 7th house, Leo is in fire. You see that? Now, are there any planets over there? There are no Graha in the Dagdha Rashi. Oof, that is nice. Okay? You don't want to have planets getting fried. When asked by Isaac Cogdal about his love with Anne Rutledge, 7th Jan to 25th August 1835. You see, she was hardly in her 20s when she died. So think about it. How many of you even knew that the person whom Abraham Lincoln really loved and wanted to marry died? Who could have thought of it? Right? She died. And he wrote, Lincoln replied, "It is true. True indeed I did. I loved the woman dearly and soundly. She was a handsome girl, would have made a good, loving wife." And so on. I did honestly and truly love the girl and think often of her now. There was no physical union as Lincoln waited for Anne to be released from her runaway spouse, John McNamara. So basically, he was waiting for Anne to be released by her husband. That means basically divorce. But Anne died before that could happen. You can read about it. Why did it happen? Well, that will be that in Anne's horoscope. But as far as he is concerned, this sun is the lord of this burning sign and is in the 1st house. The 7th lord is in Lagna and there is fire over here. So the seventh house is under fire. So that burning experience has to be there. But is it going to cause you a lot of sorrow? It is. Because if you look at Saturn, Saturn, the god of sorrow, is looking at this house. He has clear drishti on the seventh house, you know. So not only is the Dagdha Rashi the seventh house, we also are having a Shani Drishti out there. And the Lord of this Rashi has come to your head and is giving you some illusions. Lincoln and Mary Todd met in 1839, engaged in 1840. But Lincoln called off his engagement in January 1841. Look again, it is not just the first time. First time, Anne Rutledge, she died. So, of course, you can't marry a ghost. It's not a good idea to marry a ghost. So, he let go. Fine, I'll go ahead with my life. And then he goes and meets Mary Todd. He has an engagement. And then he breaks off the engagement. Does he give a good reason why he broke the engagement? No. You see, Paul Simon, who is one of the important biographers of Abraham Lincoln, he explains that the various reasons given for the engagement being broken contradict one another. All the reasons are contradicting each other. Lincoln seems to be very confused. Something is so painful that you have lost your coherence. Somebody like Lincoln is a genius. Lincoln is a very brave man. But no matter, you are a human being. And when there is fire, you will lose your bearings. See, it happened with Lincoln. The incident was not fully documented, but Lincoln did become unusually depressed, which shows in his appearance. Now, how did the depression come? Look at the Saturn's aspect on that house. During this time, he avoided seeing Mary, causing her to comment that Lincoln deemed me unworthy of notice. So remember, wherever there is this fire, logic can fail you in that sign. Unless I have a lunar aspect to help. Look at this house. Look at the second house. Look at the fourth house. This is the fourth house. This is the seventh house. Okay. This is fifth from the moon. So this is at least protected by the moon. It's a trines to the moon. But this is eighth from the moon. Chandrashtama. So from the moon, the seventh is the eighth house. So the moon is not protecting that house. The moon is not putting water in that house. The moon is unable to protect. It's failing. So your logic is failing. You are inconsolable. Get the idea? Good. Let's move on. You will look into this. Now, this is a chart of a man we all know and we love to hate. The whole world hates him for the number of lives he has caused to die. Okay, let us see his tithi. Very simple. All you have to do is to see the tithi. Based upon the tithi, you pick up the Dagdha Rashis. All good softwares will give this automatically. Aries and Leo are the Dagdha Rashis for Adolf Hitler. Now, what is Aries? Aries again is the seventh house. You see that? And what is Leo? Leo is the 11th house. Once again, we have the seventh house involved. The seventh house is under terrible fire. Not only is it under terrible fire, I have got a Mangal out here. I have a Surya out here. And among the other planets, you see Mangal and Shukra are in battle. There is a war going on out here. And on top of that, this poor Mercury fellow is Astangata. You see, this has to change. CO is for combustion. It is a wrong language. It should be AS, Astangata, or SE for set. We have to start using SE for set. It has set. It is invisible. You can't keep using combustion for Astangata. Okay, so it has set. So Mercury has vanished. So there are many tales about Hitler's love life. I told you, today I am not going to be talking about nice things. I can't. It's about Dagdha Rashis. How can I talk about nice things? And Hitler's love life, but no truth to any love really. Yeah, no real love was there. There is Ruchaka Yoga in the 7th house, and that will fry any spouse. So half niece and lover, Geli, was 19 years old and she committed suicide. Why she committed suicide, we don't know. They claim she committed suicide with Hitler's gun. How do we know that Hitler didn't shoot her? Okay, forget Geli Robel. Let us assume that she committed suicide. Eva Braun was 23 years younger than Hitler. Maria Rita was 21 years younger. Who was the actress who fell out of a window? There was an actress. I think you should look it up. She fell down from the window. How does these things happen continuously with this guy? Because there is a fire in the 7th house. And not only the fire is there, there are 4 planets that are getting fried over there. I mean, think about it. This whole picture about 7th house is the house of love or war. So because there is such a big fire and 4 planets have gone together, he will burn the world. You see, when 4 planets come together, it is Sadhu Yoga. What do you mean, Sadhu Yoga? Now, this poor fellow, he did not have a guru. Well, he had a guru. Some kind of a Rahu MKS was his guru. Some black magic he did indulge in. You can find out. And all these grahas have ended up absolutely destroying his love life. There was no love in his life. All the women. And the day he got married, the day he married is the day he died. You see, had we known that, we should have got him married much earlier. Would be a good idea. Anyway, let's leave it there. But the fact remains, you now realize that 4-planet conjunction in the 7th house has a totally different picture because it is a Dagdha Rashi. It is a frying pan. Okay. Benito Mussolini, his best friend, this guy, he does not have any planets over here. So he's a million times better. But there is something that you need to learn about combustion and burning. Is there a planet? No. So who do we take? The Lord of the sign. We are going to take Jupiter. Now, where is the fire? The fire is in the 5th house and the 2nd house. So something to do about family and kids. Nobody really knows how many kids he's got. He was very... Okay, let's leave it there. You can read that. Irene Dalsa was one wife of Italian fascist. One wife. She was transferred to the San Clemente Island where she died in 1937 due to brain hemorrhage, officially given by Mussolini. He was the dictator of Italy, and his first wife, who he said was not his wife, died in a far off island suffering from brain hemorrhage. They must have taken her head and beaten it on the wall. Such high family values. How do we see that Mussolini would do this to his wife? You see, Venus is burning with this Jupiter. Okay? Now, what else do we see? See, just Jupiter and Venus in the 8th house? You can't say that. Mars and Saturn in the 7th house? Yes, we can say that. Mars and Saturn in the 7th house is not a good combination. People like him should not marry. They are extremely violent people. And then on top of that, you have this Jupiter and Venus in the 8th house under a Papa Kartari of all these guys. So this second, but the fire is in second house, own family. Why did you not set? Look at Hitler. He set fire to the world, not to himself. I am fine. Go burn the world. But this guy, he sets fire to his own family. His wife is beaten and dies because of brain hemorrhage. And what happened to his sons? He had a son. You see, this lady who died by being beaten on the head, Ida Dalsa, had a son whose name was Benito Albin from Benito Mussolini. In 1931, his government agents, abducted his son. They abducted his son and told him that your mother is dead. When did they tell that? In 1931. When did his wife die? In 1937. So his son thought that mother is dead for 6 years when she was actually alive. And then he was adopted by the police chief of all the people. Why did you put him on proper foster care? Okay, police chief. And when he persisted in saying that Benito Mussolini was his father, he was forced into an asylum, mental asylum, where he died on 26th August 1942 after repeated coma-induced injections. Dagdha Rashi in the 5th. He got his own son injected with poisons for coma inducing, and he died because of that. Vishadagdha. I mean, what sort of a man is this? But we know that only Jupiter will burn his own house and not others, and especially when it is in Dagdha Rashis are there. So we saw this about Benito Mussolini. He is destroying his own family, his own blood. I have some more time. Am I done, or I think I have crossed my time? Let me just check. Am I good with time? How is it? So I still have some more time. Okay. Let me continue. Now we come to the next chart over here. This is the chart of a homicide victim, this lady. In this chart, I will go faster now. The Dagdha Rashis are Sagittarius and Pisces. Again, the same Rashis. You see, Tithi is the same, Sashti. Sashti. So if you are people who are born on Sashti, have a problem. What is the problem that people born on Sashti have? The Dagdha Rashis are in Jupiter's houses. What does that mean? These people are like Bhasmasura. They are destroying themselves. They will destroy themselves. They will destroy their own family. They will destroy their own children. And in this case, what happened with this lady? Her Arudha Lagna is in the Dagdha Rashi. Okay, that is dangerous. When Arudha Lagna is in Dagdha Rashi, you see that? And you see the trines to that? So where is this Sun, Mars, Rahu? You see this combination of Sun, Mars, and Rahu? See, lot of people are going to be born on Sashti. Everybody is not going to have this problem. I need a bad combination to activate this yoga. You see, Sun is in the seventh house, Mars is in the seventh house, Rahu is in the seventh house. You have a beautiful marriage, right? What is the prediction you will give about this marriage? You have a beautiful marriage. Your son, your husband is under a total eclipse of the sun and Rahu. He probably is a drug addict. He has got a very foul temper. He'll like to beat you up. He is having all sorts of relationships outside and blatantly. Mangal in the seventh house, your spouse could be having a relationship. Huh? So on Feb 76, she beat up husband's girlfriend. What is that? So the husband had a girlfriend and they were there in the house and she got wild, she lost it and she beat up the girlfriend. And she died. She died on 20 March 1976 in Encino, California when she was shot by her husband. So she beat up the husband's girlfriend and the husband shot her. So remember, when the Arudha is burnt, stay away from Mars. If your Arudha Lagna is in a Dagdha Rashi, as you can see out here, AL is in a Dagdha Rashi, stay away from Mangal. Mangal will burn you. You will burn because of Mangal. Stay far, far away from Mangal if your Arudha is in the Dagdha Rashi. Get the point? Whatever Mangal is indicating in your horoscope, in this horoscope, Mangal is in the seventh house. It is husband. I don't care which Rashi it is in. It is in the seventh house, it's husband. Don't marry. If you marry, you die. Get the point? I don't like the Arudha. And okay, can they marry? Is there a remedy? I want the moon to have some drishti on this fire. The moon is in the 12th house from the fire. The moon has zero drishti on that house. You know that. Moon, look, whenever you see the moon, there is no water in the second and the eighth from the moon. Wherever Chandra Lagna is, this is, here the moon is in Scorpio as it is gone. So the second house and the eighth house on the moon have no water. Okay. So now, let us look at the husband's chart. The guy who shot his wife. Does he have a similar combination? Let us see his chart. He is born on Krishna Chaturdashi. Now remember, there's a whole chapter in Brihat Parashara Hora Shastra devoted to this great tithi called Krishna Chaturdashi tithi. And this is such a powerful dosha. It's a dosha tithi. Take it seriously. If Parashara says so, take it seriously. You cannot be lula about it. So this tithi, you got to do a serious prayer to Lord Shiva for protection. Okay? Why? Because in this tithi, 4 rashis are combust. Which are the 4 rashis? They are the dual signs. Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, Pisces. All the dual signs are combust. 4 rashis. There are only 12 rashis in the zodiac. If 4 get combust, I mean, your life is only going to live around 8 Rashis. How much of life are you going to really live? And then on top of that, look at this chart. How many planets are gone into this combust Rashis? Jupiter has gone into Sagittarius combust. People will look at the chart and say, your Jupiter is so well placed in the 12th house, in own sign in Sagittarius. But the poor chap is sitting on a frying pan. They are making potato chips out of him. Okay, what about Surya? Can you imagine Surya being in a Dagdha Rashi? Remember Adolf Hitler? I don't like fire planets in Dagdha Rashi. The Rashi is already hot and burning. If you put more fire, you put more kerosene in that, it'll be like a blast. It's a bomb out there. So Surya is there. What about this Chandra? This Chandra has no water. You can see it is fully evaporated. It is destroyed. This Chandra is fully destroyed. And so, what about Mercury? Mercury is debilitated. It's a malefic Mercury. It's a malefic Mercury. It's a debilitated Mercury. What is Mercury? He is the Lord of Upapada. This is the Lord of wife. So wife, Upapada, is burning. The Lord of wife is burning. Seventh Lord from Lagna moon is in Chaturdashi dosha and burning. He shot his wife. And of course, very interesting. If you look at his life, when did he shoot his wife? He shot his wife in Mangal Dasha, Surya Antar Dasha, Mangal Pratyantar Dasha. Mangal, Surya, Mangal, boom. Wife shot. Remaining part of your life will be spent in jail, where Jupiter will join you in the frying pan so that you learn to do some mantras and change. I think I have crossed my time limits, and just wanted to tell one nice point. All these bad things I told you about Dagda. One nice point. It is very good to have fire in the house of the enemy. See? Enemy burning. This is Gandhi's chart. Gandhi has enemy burning. And this is Nehru's chart. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. Sorry, don't call him Pandit. He doesn't like it. Okay. His sixth house, Sagittarius, has Jupiter burning. Okay. So basically both of them have sixth house burning. Okay, now since both of them have sixth house burning, if they come together, they can easily defeat any enemy. The enemies will start frying and they will go away. And these people will use what is called Jupiterian method of warfare. What is Jupiterian method of warfare? Sama. What is Sama? I love you. I love you. Sama. Sama, Dama, Danda, Bheda. Sixth Lord Jupiter, Sama. British will love you. Please come close. We want to make potato chips out of you. See, that is called Sama. Both Gandhi and Nehru got together to do Sama with the British. So that is why we have such good relationships. But they ran away because who wants to get fried? So much for now. And next time we will take this further. Off to Jyoti. Can I?
Thank you, Sri Sanjay Rath for the insightful class. Our audience definitely appreciated it. We now move on to the Q&A session. The questions will come up on the screen. You can kindly read it out loud for the benefit of everyone and then answer them.
Yes, please. Thank you. Vijay Bhaskar has asked a beautiful question. Guruji, should we look at Kala Chakra which changes every 1.5 hours or Hora Chakra which changes 1 hour for auspicious time? Hey, what about Muhurta? Dr. B.V. Raman wrote a beautiful book on Muhurta. What if both contradicts? Which one to prefer? Om Gurave Namah. See, when you are looking at time, Brihaspati uses Muhurta. He does not use Kala Chakra. He will use Kala Chakra with Muhurta. Keep that in mind. And Hora Chakra is changing every 1 hour. Who uses the Hora Chakra? Surya is using Hora Chakra. So let us be clear on this. Brihaspati is using Muhurta. Surya is using Hora Chakra. Shukra is using Ghatika Chakra. Shukra says that certain things you should use Ghatika Chakra. It is not a question of what is contradicting whom. The question is, what are you looking for? Are you looking for a marriage muhurta? If you are looking for a marriage muhurta, then the lagna is important, which changes every 2 hours. So I would like to say that each one of this is used for a very specific purpose. Okay? For example, if you are planning to travel on a journey, you should be using Ghatika Chakra. If you are planning to start something important, like go to a temple, do a remedy for puja, you want to remedy a graha, you should be using Kala Chakra. Kala Chakra is the best for remedies, pujas. Now, if you are, for all other purposes, for your day-to-day activities, use the Hora Chakra. So each one has its own purpose. I cannot say that the scissors is better than the knife. We should throw the knife and only use scissors. Right? Okay. Next question, please. Desha. Okay. Namaste, Guruji. What if moon is sitting in one of the Dagdha Rashis itself? You are very lucky. If the moon is sitting in a Dagdha Rashi, then you can use the mantras of the moon, to use the water of the moon to put the fire down. Think of it. Frying pan example I gave, no? Throw some water on it, chirr, that sound it makes, and it cools down. Right? That should make it very easy. Tarun Prasad, Guruji, please guide. Should we see Dagdha Rashi in divisional charts also? Well, let us first finish Rashi chart and then we will talk about D charts. D charts don't really fully manifest. They are there in the background of the Rashi charts. There is something called Amsa Tulya Rashi and there is something called Rashi Tulya Amsha. In Rashi Tulya Amsha, you can use it. Okay. Thank you. Akash Tiwari, sir, does Kapal Bhatti Pranayama calm Saturn? Does Kapal Bhatti calm the system down or does it heat the system? What does Kapal Bhatti do? Why will I not use Shitali Pranayam for Shani? Now the problem with Shani, it is already cold. If you are going to make it more cold, it will cause fever. Because very cold can burn you. So the question is, what should I use for Shani? Very hard question. I think you should be consulting a proper Ayurveda before you start these pranayams. Unless you have a proper guru, do not get into the different pranayams and do not overdo it. You can do maximum 10 pranayam. Don't do more than that. Okay. Komal. Sir, which planet's mantra should be done for Dagdha Rashi, planets in the Rashi, the moon, or the Rashi Lord. Always use the logic. Something is a frying pan. You do cooking. Huh? Komal, I'm sure you like cooking. Let us say the pan is already hot. Will you throw some oil to cool it down? Or will you throw water to cool it down? Only water can cool it down. You agree? Once you and I agree that water can cool it down, we know that Shukra, Chandra can cut down the fire. Shukra and Chandra can cut down the fire. The Lord of the Rashi need not be able to cut down the fire. Surya will increase the fire. Mangal will blast it. It is not a question of who is there and who is the Lord. It is the question of whether we have water planets to help or not. So the remedy that I will recommend, anything to do with Durga, Chandra, Lakshmi, these Devi mantras will calm it down. Krishna will calm it down. Okay? Trivikram Acharya, retro Jupiter in Dhanu, in Dagdha Rashi. Will it form Hamsa Mahapurusha Yoga or can we consider it as Tattva level? See, when the Jupiter is retrograde, the problem is it is giving results of being in Gemini. Okay. So that is the good news. The good news is Jupiter has run away from the fire, which is a good sign. Now for Hamsa Yoga, Jupiter has to stay there. And if Jupiter will stay there, he will burn. There will be suffering. So if you want Hamsa Yoga, you have to stay in Dhanu and burn. If you want wealth, success, Jupiter will run away to Gemini, like going away to America for a job. Lot of money, lot of wealth, lot of success. Jupiter has run away to Gemini for work. Whenever the result of a planet like Jupiter in Gemini means he has gone away for work because he is in the opposite sign from his Mula Trikona. Mula Trikona is office. He, for office matter, for work, he has gone away to America. Why America? Gemini. Easy to remember. Okay. Yogendra Manjunathaya. Sir, for Dagdha Rashi, which tithi is considered? Whether tithi during sunrise or tithi during birth timing is considered. For what purpose? We are doing Dagdha in a Jataka. What I have discussed today is how to see Dagdha Rashi in the Jataka. Jataka means birth chart. It is also used in your Panchangam. That is the sunrise Panchangam. But that is different. That is on a day-to-day basis. What things you should be doing, what things you should not be doing, those things we see. Okay. No more questions? Acha, we still have more. Thanos Avengers. Will Dagdha also burn enemy if placed in Virgo sign, even if not placed in 6th house? How? Just because it is in Virgo, it cannot burn the enemy. If Virgo is your Lagna, then it is good actually. Combustion happening in the Lagna may be very, very good. I have not finished those slides I had made. Combustion in Lagna can be fantastic. You can see Swami Vivekananda and some more others. See, try to understand. Combustion is fire. And Lagna has Surya as the Karaka. The more fire you can carry on your head, the stronger is your Gayatri. So in the Lagna, it is very good for you. In the 6th house, your enemies are destroyed, your own weaknesses are destroyed. You will become a good person. Gandhi, he was always struggling to destroy his weaknesses. But Nehru had planets over there. It is different. Nehru had enemies. So in Virgo, it will not destroy enemy. It has to be in the 6th house in your horoscope. A. Guruji, if a karma dharma adhipatya yoga. Dharma karma adhipati yoga. Say it properly. Dharma, 9th house. Always dharma is first. Then karma. Adhipati, lordships, yoga. Is in the 10th house, is being formed, is in a Dagdha Rashi. See, it is the Dagdha Rashi which is spoiling the yoga. You have to use mantras and remedies to calm it down. Do you know how to calm down a Dagdha? Abhishekam. Give water to Lord Shiva. Pour water, lot of water on Lord Shivalinga. Combustion will go. Pour dahi, yogurt on Lord Shiva. Combustion will go. Okay? Dagdha Rashi remedy is Abhishek. Everybody has a few Dagdha Rashis. Bikash Das, Dagdha Rashi, Lord Mercury placed in Dostana 6th house with another 2. Will it cancel its bad effect? Both will suffer. You will suffer and the enemy will also suffer. There is no cancellation of effect. You see the case of Mussolini. I did the case. 5th house was combust. Lord is in the 8th house. He suffered. But did he suffer? His children suffered. Bad things happen. Vinay Srivastav. Guruji, if Graha is sitting in Dagdha Rashi, is involved in a parivartana. Because of the parivartana, the one in the Dagdha will get out. But the other guy will jump in, no? Have you read sometimes in the newspapers? One person is drowning, another fellow is diving inside to save him. He catches his hand, pulls him to the bank. By then he has become tired and he is pulled out. So that is what happens in parivartana. The other guy will die. Okay? Harish Kumar. Jupiter Vargottam in Sagittarius with Sun. Please suggest remedy. According to the Shiva Mahapuran, you will have to, on a Thursday, you have to go to the banks of a river having a Shivalinga, a Shiva temple. You have to take a dip in the river, reciting the Ganga mantras, Hara Hara Ganga or whatever Ganga mantras, Dasha Hara Ganga mantra. After taking the dip in the river, in the wet clothes, wet clothes, you can just squeeze and then put the same clothes. You have to go to the temple and pray to Shiva. He will listen. That is the remedy. And you do this once a year, you will never suffer any other combustion. Nothing else is required. This is sufficient. Mehul Doshi. Guruji, would longitudes of planets creating Dagdha be measured in the same Rashi only, or can it be also across Rashis? Mehul, that is a complicated question. So we are assuming that you are taking the Tithi longitude, right? And then you are telling that Tithi longitude is working in some way in that Dagdha Rashi itself. Maybe it is. But here we are just taking the whole Rashi as being Dagdha. Because to say that 20 degrees is Dagdha, 10 degrees is not Dagdha. The moment we try to run away from the problem like this, we don't solve the problem. This calculation may work in Tithi Dagdha. Thank you. Twinkle Ghosh. What happens when retrograde Mercury Atmakaraka and Sun Amatya Karaka conjunct in the third house in the same degree? Beautiful. How many languages have you learnt, Twinkle? It is a very, very beautiful combination for knowledge. But the problem is that you will work very hard. Amatya, you see, you will work very hard to a point, and suddenly it may cause problems in your work, conflict in the workplace. That is how. Dagdha Rashi is in the third house, can bring a lot of problems in that house, siblings and things related to third house. Okay. Badri Venkatraman. Hare Ramakrishna. Please throw light if Mandi or sitting in Dagdha Rashi and remedy. Who can burn Mandi? Mandi cannot be burnt. Mandi will burn. If you throw Mandi on fire, the fire is gone. Mandi is something black and murky and like pitch. Pitch, you throw it on something, it will ruin it. That Dagdha Rashi is already spoiled because of Mandi, and on top of that it is burnt. I mean, it is like, laying a road. Have you seen? They take the coal tar, they boil it and they put it like that. That Rashi is in very bad shape. What do you want to know about the remedy for Mandi? Mandi remedy, you have to do Mandi mantras. Gulika remedy, you have to do Gulika mantras. Okay, I think we are good now. Thank you very much.
Thank you again, Sri Sanjay ji, for this excellent masterclass on Dakdarashi. On behalf of Raman and Rajeswari Research Foundation, I thank you for the same. I would like to take this opportunity to inform the audience that the next masterclass session is on Saturday, September 26, 2021. The class will be by Sri Bill Sinclair and he will teach about Badaka, revealing karmic blocks. See you again there. Also, if you would like to stay informed about the activities of the foundation, we encourage you to visit our website www.rrrf.in or join our Telegram channel. Namaste.